Hi, I'm Riya Singhal. In this video, we will see few questions of SQL from HackerRank that will help you prepare for your interviews. So let us start with this question. So let us see the problem statement. So our question is query all columns for all American cities in the city table with populations larger than 1 lakh and the country code for America is USA. And we have this city table with us. So we have the following fields in our city table which are ID, name, country code, district and population. So see, what does our question says? So our question is that we have to generate all the columns. So we will try solving every SQL question within some steps. So our first step is to check the output. So see, what is the output that our question is demanding? So here we have to generate all the columns. That is, we have to generate ID, name, country code, district, population, every column. Now the second step is to figure out the table name. So the table name is city. And the third step is to check for the conditions. So what are the conditions in our questions? So see, the first condition is that population should be larger than 1 lakh. This is our condition 1. And the second condition is the country code for America is USA. So by using these steps, let us try writing these SQL queries. So see, we know that we have to generate all the columns. So for that, we have asterisk. Asterisk is used to generate all the columns. Now see, then we have table name. So what is the name of our table? So the table name is city and then we will write the condition. So our first condition is that population should be larger than 1 lakh and our second condition is that the country code for America is USA. So we will write country code is USA. Putting the semicolon and then let us try running this code. So we can see our sample test case has been passed and now let us try submitting this code. So yes, our question is correctly submitted. So this was our question 1. So now let us go to the next question. So this is our second question. So we will do the same step for this question also. So see, we have to query the name field for all American cities in the city table with populations larger than 1,20,000 and the country code for America is USA. Now see, what is the difference between this and the previous question? So in the previous question, we write the query to generate all the columns. But in this question, it is clearly mentioned that we have to generate only the name field. So our first step was to check for the output and we know that our output would be name field. Now second step is to see the name of the table. So here also the name of our table is city. And the third step is to check for the conditions. So the first condition is that population should be larger than 1,20,000 and similarly the country code for America is USA. So now let us try writing the SQL query for this question. So let us copy the previous query and let us see what modifications we can do for this question. See, in the previous question, we need to generate all the columns, but here we need to generate only the name field. The table name is city here also, and the population is 1,20,000. And the country code for here also it is USA. So now let us try to run this code. So our sample test case has been passed. Now let us submit this code. And now we can see the question has been successfully passed. Now let us come to the next question. So our next question is to query all columns for every row in the city table. So this is the simplest question that you can see. So see, what is our question here? So the first step is to check for the output. So here it is clearly mentioned that query all columns. So that means we have to again use the asterisk symbol here. And the second step was to check for the table name. So the table name here also it is city only, and for the condition here is no condition. So there is no condition. So it will be the simplest query and it will be simply select all from city that is. Now run this. So our sample test case has been passed. Now let us submit this solution. So our question is correctly passed. So see, we have seen two modifications for the questions as of now. The first is where we need to generate all the columns, that is all the attributes. And the second type is where we need to generate the specific columns. So if we want to generate all the columns, we can use this asterisk symbol. And if we want to generate specific columns, then we will write the names of those fields. So now let us come to next question. So this is our next question. We have to query all columns for a city in city with the ID 1661. So now see, it is also very similar. We have to generate all the columns. So output again will be asterisk. The table name is again city and the condition. So here the condition is given that the ID should be 1661. Now, for this ID, you have to check in this table which is the column for this ID. So this is our field. So we will simply write when ID is 1661. So let us write the SQL query for this. Select asterisk from city where ID is 1661. So if it is a character, then we use the quotations. Otherwise, we can simply write this without the quotations. So our sample test case has been passed and our final solution is also passed. So now let us come to the next question. So this is our fifth question. Let us see what is this question and how it is different from the rest of the questions. So see, we have to query all attributes. So see, whenever it is written all attributes, it is clear that we have to generate all the columns. For that, we will use asterisk symbol. Now, of every Japanese city in the city table, the country code for Japan is JPN. So it is clearly mentioned that we have to generate all the columns. So our output is again asterisk. Now, the table name is again city and the condition is that the country code for Japan is JPN. Because we want to generate all the columns in the city table, but for every Japanese city. So how can we check that whether our city is Japan or not? So for that it is written that the country code for Japan is JPN. So what we will do, we will generate all the columns in the city table whenever the country code is JPN. That is whenever our city is Japanese. So we will generate all the columns. So let us write the SQL query for this. Select asterisk from city where country code is JPN. So our sample test case has been passed and our solution is submitted. So let us come to the last question for this video, which is this question. So see, query the names of all the Japanese city and the country code for Japan is JPN. So see, what is the difference between this and the previous question? In the previous question, it was given that we have to generate all the attributes for every Japanese city. But here the question is, we have to generate only the names for the Japanese city. So what is the variation here? So let us copy this previous code. We will paste it here and now see. Instead of this select, we have the specific fields, which is name. So we will write select name from city where country code is JPN. So we can see our sample test case has been passed and now let us see whether our question is getting submitted or not. So our question is submitted. So this was about this video. Hope this is clear to you. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment. Thank you.